Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We need a teacher in every one of these press conferences. Chicago has quickly taken a leadership role in the development of quantum computing, and there's no better indicator of its rapid ascent than the announcement that we make here today with IBM. I want to begin by thanking IBM's CEO, Arvind Krishna, and his entire team for choosing to take your, great quantum leap forward right here in Illinois. Your commitment to the IQMP and to the city are a new demonstration of your longstanding commitment to Chicago. I'd also like to acknowledge our colleagues in Illinois' academic and research institutions who have paved the way for the recognition and success that IBM is bringing. University of Chicago President Paul Alivisatos and University of Chicago Molecular Engineering Dean Nadia Mason, University of Illinois President Tim Killeen and Engineering Dean Rashid Bashir, and IQMP CEO Harley Johnson, who is also a founder professor in mechanical science and engineering at UIUC. You all have been instrumental in helping us to lay the groundwork that made this project and many projects just like it possible. And I want to shout out our partner in economic development for the state, a whole bunch of them, leaders that are here and some not here, but P33, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, Intersect Illinois, as well as many others, and of course our great Cook County Board President, Tony Preckwinkle. A few short years ago, we laid out a vision for making Illinois a global capital for quantum computing. We have worked with partners from across government, business, research institutions, national laboratories, and academia to build an ecosystem that would attract the most important players in quantum development. With our eyes on that vision and our shoulder to the wheel, we have made an aggressive pitch to this burgeoning industry. Come build the future right here in Illinois. In 2019, the state provided a grant for the Chicago Quantum Exchange that catalyzed Illinois being chosen for 4 of the nation's 10 national quantum research centers. Then in 2023, the Federal Economic Development Administration designated Chicago as a central driver in quantum technologies, and U.S. leader in quantum technologies. DARPA then announced its partnership with the state to create a quantum proving ground to attract leading quantum technology companies and drive economic growth here. Shortly after that, the former U.S. Steel site on the south side of Chicago was announced as the home of the new Illinois Quantum and every time. I'm going to try it again. The IQMP, I'll just go with that.
That's good.
The Illinois Quantum and Microelectronics Park, along with its first anchor tenant. That was an enormous leap forward for all of us. All of that has laid the groundwork for today's announcement. IBM has chosen to build its newest quantum system 2 computer here, and a national quantum algorithm center will be launched with IBM as one of the partners in this center. This center will be a home for groundbreaking new research and exploration on applications and advancements in quantum that will solve complex challenges across industries. Partners in the center include universities and national labs, private quantum computing hardware and software companies, and corporate users from various industries and sectors. These are yet more exciting developments for the IQMP and for Illinois as a whole. The list of public and private institutions looking for a place in our quantum ecosystem is growing by the day, and Illinois is quickly becoming their destination of choice. As a reminder, being at the forefront of this industry holds the potential to deliver long-term, broad-based economic prosperity for our people. IBM's investment here will begin by creating 50 new permanent jobs in addition to the construction jobs for new facilities, and it adds fuel to our potential for explosive growth. With a projected $20 billion in economic impact, the quantum industry in Illinois could dramatically transform our economy, creating and attracting tens of thousands of high-tech jobs, spurring entirely new industries, and all the while supercharging our mainstay sectors. And for humankind, quantum has the potential to open a world of possibilities. The work that will take place at the National Quantum Algorithm Center and across the Illinois quantum infrastructure will help us wrestle with the most pressing questions of the day in climate change and national security, healthcare, and beyond. As a citizen of the world, I am glad that this work has a home. And as governor of Illinois, I am really glad that this home is here in this state. I want to once again thank our friends, our partners at IBM. Your leadership in quantum computing is truly inspiring. With that, it is my great pleasure to introduce the CEO of IBM and maybe most importantly, a University of Illinois PhD.
All right.
Arvind Krishna.
Thank you. And thank you, Governor Pritzker. Look, I think we got to first acknowledge we're standing here because of the combined efforts of the governor, his team from the state, the University of Chicago, University of Illinois, and, of course, the IQMP. It is because of the investments made over the last 5 years, as the governor laid out, and having the vision to lean forward into quantum computing that we are here. We have made many trips, visited many of our partners here over the last 4 or 5 years, and it is because of what we felt was the collaboration, not only from this, but as the governor said, from private industry in the state, in the city, and all of the academic institutions who are leaning in to go make this work. Just a little bit on quantum computing. We are very excited. This is the moment over the next couple of years that we're going to see it unfold. The governor spoke about climate change, but go to basic materials. We need lighter weight materials so that we can leverage electrification better. We need better batteries. We need to worry about food safety. We need to worry about financial risk. All of these are problems that we believe are going to be within the reach of quantum computing in this decade. I'm probably more optimistic than the end of the decade, but I'll stick with the end of the decade, as I'm always cautioned, stick to promises that you can be 100% sure you can keep. I also want to talk a little bit about our academic partners here. Yes, I am probably a little biased because I did do my graduate work here at the University of Illinois, but apart from the fact that that's the best engineering school in the world, I will also say that what the University of Chicago has in terms of the capabilities that they have built up, not just in the last couple of years, but over the decades, what the national labs here have in the state in terms of their computational capabilities and their science and research staff, combined with many other universities, whether it's Northwestern, whether it's UI Chicago. It's an incredible ability to bring the people in who are going to be able to write and solve. We're calling it algorithms because that's the best word. My colleagues will tell me circuits may be a more appropriate word sometimes, but algorithms is fine. How to leverage these computers that we're going to put here to be able to solve these real world problems. You need to bring in the researchers. They're going to be able to create the exploitations. We work hopefully with some of the private industry partners so it can be make their businesses better, and then we turn around and give that back to everybody. I'm truly excited by what we're going to do here. We are committed to bring all the help to make this successful. I'll point to 4 other ecosystems as a quick teaser. We saw what happened with semiconductors and what became Silicon Valley. I can point to Houston and LA, and you can see what is happening in the space industry. You can look at what happened in finance with New York City as a global capital. Maybe this will be the 4th example in the United States for quantum. So with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce a friend and partner in this, President Paul Alivisatos from the University of Chicago. Paul.
Oh my gosh, what a happiness it is today. Our whole community here, Arvind, is really proud to play a role in attracting you here, bringing IBM. You're one of the true leaders in this field, in the development of quantum computers. And we think having you now play an even more prominent role in what is now, I think, definitely, Governor, the most powerful quantum ecosystem in the world. Right here in Chicago, in Illinois. Quantum information technologies hold the promise of vastly improving computing, accelerating the discovery of new pharmaceuticals, materials for batteries, more efficient logistics, improved cybersecurity, and even better assessments of risks for the insurance industry, to name a few. Today's announcement of the National Quantum Algorithm Center is a genuine milestone. Algorithm development lies at the heart of making quantum computing a reality and translating this new set of tools for actual use in a wide range of applications that people really care about. The project includes installation of one of the most advanced, possibly the most advanced, quantum computer in existence in the world today, the IBM Quantum System 2 in Hyde Park Labs. Our collaborations with scientists from the Quantum Algorithm Center near our campus creates opportunities for our students and faculty to expand the boundaries of human knowledge in science, in fields such as physics, chemistry, astronomy, biology, and medicine, while also helping to secure a vibrant quantum business ecosystem here in Chicago. I am a practicing scientist myself over many decades, and I can see emerging here the tremendous advantages that arise when all of our universities are cooperating, when the national labs like Argonne and Fermilab, with all the local governments and the state, and of course many industries, are all working hand in hand. And we are demonstrating this partnership over and over again here in the quantum arena. We bring complementary strengths: discovery, investment, development, and deployment, and we are creating an environment where a groundbreaking technology is being invented and where it will thrive. These partnerships are particularly vital as we venture into what is kind of uncharted territory. There's a ways to go here, and we are building a future where quantum computing drives progress and contributes to solving pressing challenges. I am just really excited about it, and I'm very excited, Arvind, that you're deepening your partnership here with us. We're excited, all of us, to be your partner in this next stage. I'd like now to introduce Harley Johnson, who is an absolutely exceptional leader in the quantum ecosystem here in Chicago, a distinguished professor of mechanical engineering at UIUC, and who is leading the Illinois Quantum Microelectronics Park. I think I got it there. Harley.
Thank you. It's very exciting to be here this afternoon. As the director and CEO of the Illinois Quantum and Microelectronics Park, I'm just thrilled to be here, especially to welcome IBM to our campus. IBM's already been an asset to our team as we've worked to bring this partnership to life, and we're so excited to have them officially be a part of the IQMP. For decades, IBM has established itself as a worldwide leader in computing and technology solutions, so it's really humbling that they believe in our vision for creating a first-of-its-kind global hub for quantum scale-up and related quantum and microelectronics R&D, and that they want to be a part of it. Together with IBM and our partners, including the University of Chicago and my home university, the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, we will build the new National Quantum Algorithm Center at the IQMP. The National Quantum Algorithm Center will be a place where innovators can advance useful quantum applications and realize the potential this technology holds to solve some of our most complex problems. And you've heard some examples already. You know, we think about allowing doctors to detect cancer at its earliest stages, accelerating the delivery of life-saving medications, optimizing transportation, construction and logistics schedules, and power distribution. We believe our work will eventually help to solve some of society's biggest challenges right here at the National Quantum Algorithm Center. The software developed at this center is necessary to utilize the hardware that will be built at the IQMP. And to that end, we're thrilled that IBM will be bringing its state-of-the-art quantum system to Computer to the Park. The computer will be deployed in Chicago in the coming year at Hyde Park Labs before being ultimately relocated to the IQMP over the coming years. You've heard that IBM has built strong partnerships over the years with University of Chicago and UIUC and others here in Illinois, and we're really looking forward to building on that foundation in this new chapter together. From top-tier universities like these to research institutions, national labs, world-class talent, and more, the Illinois quantum ecosystem is really unlike any other, and I think we can say the best in the world. That quantum infrastructure, coupled with the work of the park, is going to give birth to new businesses, thousands of new jobs, and new opportunity for the South Chicago community. We're very excited about that, for our great state and our city and the entire region. We believe it'll be truly transformational for the region, and this announcement today is another step toward making this all a reality. So thank you for having me here today, and welcome IBM to the Illinois Quantum and Microelectronics Park. All right. Now I'd like to introduce Cook County Board President Preckwinkle.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I want to thank you, Governor Pritzker, for your leadership and for being a champion for our region as a global leader in quantum innovation. Let me acknowledge the other elected officials who are here. Peter Chico of the 10th Ward, in which this development will take place, and Representative Curtis Tarver, in whose State House district this development will take place. I'd also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Juan Salgado, who's here from our city colleges and who I know got an award for government leadership this morning from Motorola Solutions. Today's announcement is a monumental step forward. I want to commend Chairman and CEO Arvind Krishna and IBM for their significant investment in our city, in our county, and our state. IBM's decision to bring the new System 2 quantum computer to the South Side speaks volumes about the strength of our quantum ecosystem. And speakers before me have talked about the importance of developing this ecosystem. It speaks to the collaborative environment we've all tried to cultivate. Let me be clear. This partnership is more than just a milestone. It's a turning point. As you've heard, for over 30 years, this site on the southeast side has been vacant. Now it will serve as a hub for cutting-edge technology that will shape industries and solve global challenges. IBM's presence will surely drive advancements in quantum computing and help further cement this campus at the forefront of the quantum revolution. In Cook County, we're proud of this transformative development. Through our $5 million direct investment in IQMP, we are ensuring that the infrastructure is in place for quantum to thrive in our region. But our commitment doesn't stop there. We're also working alongside our partners to build a robust workforce that will help supply the workers that we need in these developments. And we also want to work on the supply chain ecosystems that will create opportunities for both residents and businesses. This work is critical and will amplify the benefits of this investment in our communities across the county. Another key element of our strategy is a new Class 8 micro incentive, which the Cook County Board of Commissioners approved to support developments like IQMP. With this incentive, Cook County is competing on the global stage and attracting the kinds of transformative projects that will define the future. Today's announcement also underscores the power of collaboration. It's a reminder of what we can achieve when local governments and private leaders unite around a shared vision for progress. As we celebrate this milestone, I want to again thank Governor Pritzker, IBM, and all of the partners who have made this day possible. Together, we're not just creating jobs and economic growth, we're building a brighter future for Illinois, Cook County, Chicago, and beyond. Thank you. And now, it's my pleasure to bring Governor Pritzker back to answer the questions.
I was hoping you'd take them all, but happy to take any questions from members of the media. Yes, Isabel.
Governor, I have two transit questions for you.
Transit questions, okay.
The first one is why did none of your administration go on the trip to Germany with the other mass transit delegation?
Well, it was a legislative endeavor, and so, you know, we certainly are getting reports from people that are there, that have been through those meetings, and of course, we've been in discussions for quite some time about what the new shape of transit will look like for the northern region of the state.
And then I wanted to know if you favor a German-esque approach to coordinating transit policies rather than forcing consolidation, which is a few bills right now that
Yeah, I wouldn't describe it as either one of those. I think I prefer an Illinois-esque endeavor, and I think that we're working on all the details of that. I think it's quite complex. I don't think you can just take another system and copy it and say this is what we're going to do. We have assets that already exist here, and we have different kinds of levels of government that need to be represented in the board or boards that would be created. So we're going to try to take the best of those other systems, what we're learning from that, and include it in what will be a new organization of leadership and oversight for our transit system here. Well, when you say consolidation, you know, it has a lot of meanings. Obviously, what we need most of all is to make sure we're actually serving the needs of people all across this region. So, for example, we have paratransit through PACE. That's got to be served, no matter what. So when we talk about consolidation, you're still going to have a paratransit, you know, endeavor. And so just you could go through each of the pieces of transit for this region, but I'd suggest to you that all of it needs to be executed on, operated well. And what matters here when you say consolidation, I think a lot of that discussion is really about what's the oversight? What is the board or boards? What do those look like, and who should serve? What are the qualifications of people who should serve on those boards? Great.
Governor was mentioned that the computer itself is going to be developed at the Hyde Park Labs in the coming year. When will people actually see some development going on down at this campus for what is going to be this future project?
Well, as you know, there's an awful lot that has to happen on the campus before people can even move onto it. There's environmental remediation that will take place, though there's construction that needs to happen. I think if we're realistic, this is probably a 2-year endeavor to make it, you know, possible for people to move onto the property. But that doesn't mean that IBM and that others who are engaged in IQMP won't be moving to Chicago and creating some of what they intend to bring onto IQMP already in Chicago. We have the space for it. We can create the laboratory environment for them. I think one of the very important parts of IQMP, I should mention, by the way, just looking at Paul Alivisatos, that, you know, we have an awful lot of resources that already exist, laboratories, cryo facilities, and so on. But we're adding to that significantly with the IQMP. But we want those companies and these resources to be here as soon as possible, and they do too. They want to be around each other. When we talk about an ecosystem, it is about interacting with one another, and it's the folks who are developing the algorithms wanting to interact with the people who are developing the hardware, and the scientists who, frankly, get a drive in a way, and, you know, a little bit of a competitive spirit by just being in the same environment with one another. So that I think is already happening. This ecosystem, and whatever we do at IQMP is just a piece of a broader ecosystem for quantum that will happen in Chicago. That it's an important piece, but it's not just going to happen in one space on the south side of Chicago, and it will happen, I think, across the city.
Governor,
Yes.
I had two questions for you, one on topic, one off. On topic, are you pleased with how IQMP
There have been a lot of public meetings and interactions, private meetings as well, and I know that the public elected officials have heard from the various groups directly. So I'm pleased with the amount of communication that's happening, and that there is a real commitment on the part of people who are some of the folks standing behind me and on my part to try to meet some of the concerns and overcome some of the concerns. There are discussion, for example, about the environmental conditions on this site. Well, obviously, there's environmental remediation that needs to take place, and then we want to make sure that whatever gets built is environmentally sound and appropriate. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but I think that the amount of concern and focus is, I think, heartening.
Okay, and then the second question, I have folks telling me that your office is or was considering supporting a package of energy legislation for lame duck. Do you expect or would you support any movement on energy issues with battery storage and transmission in the early year?
Did you start by saying you heard rumors? Is that how that started out? Sources, okay. I don't mean to make fun of that. I mean, there is a lot of discussion. We have a lot to work on with regard to storage, for example, energy storage. I think that'll be an important topic for us to take up. There are lots of pieces frankly, every day, but I'll just say every year, there are things for us to work on to, broaden or focus our clean energy efforts in the state. And so you could put together a bill on almost any day that would address some aspect or another, or maybe try to throw it all together. But there isn't currently some bill that's being put together or moving that specifically, address all those things in the lame duck session, which I think is what you're referring to. Yeah. Yeah, Amanda.
We missed yesterday. It's been a while.
Quantum? No. Okay.
For starters, obviously, former Speaker Matt Gaetz is on trial right now, and he's using a lot of his campaign cash to pay for defense. Is that an appropriate use of funds, or does Illinois need to take action to ban the use of campaign dollars for defense and corruption trials?
It's a good question. I mean, I will say, I understand, when you're a public official, people sometimes get accused improperly. I'm not suggesting that's the case here, but sometimes they get accused or, end up on trial for something they didn't do. And there have been acquittals. People don't know much about those, but there have been acquittals. So the question is, I guess the question, and I don't have an answer for it. The question is whether, the dollars that people support you with for public office are appropriate to be used in the context of you're innocent until you're proven guilty. I would not do it, but I understand what the debate is about.
Secondly, very important issue. The new potential state flags that have been unveiled.
Yes.
Do you have an opinion on the top 10 designs? And do you believe that Illinois would be better served by a new banner?
I really like our current flag. I also like the designs that were put forward. Don't want to sound too political about that, but I mean, I think a lot of effort was put into that. Sometimes I saw a report that showed 10 flags, but they forgot that there's also the centennial flag. There's also the original flag. Those will be considered, I think, in the voting that'll take place by the public. So I don't have a preference about any single one of those. I am glad, though, that we're at least considering all the options here, and what we end up with will be a choice that the public makes.
And then finally, President Biden commuted the sentence today of Rita Crundwell, the former comptroller of Dixon, stole $54 million of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Was that appropriate? The president has talked about nonviolent offenders, but a focus on drug crimes. Should she have been included in those whose sentences were?
Honestly, haven't heard anything about it. You're saying it was a commutation? Yeah, which is different, just for everybody's, edification, than a pardon, right? Which is truly a forgiveness. I think commutation is often about saying they've served enough time or they've suffered enough from the conviction.
Their 8 of 20 year sentence.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't part of the trial. I don't know whether it was an appropriate sentence that was given to her. Obviously, stealing any money from the public is something that he should be prosecuted for. And $54 million is outrageous, especially for a city the size of Dixon. Yeah.
The dollar amount of IBM's investment in this project, and what's the outlook for future investments in terms of dollars?
Bloomberg, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Always
So-
dollars.
So I'll classify the initial investment is going to be in the tens of millions. Maybe it reaches the low hundreds, but I'm going to leave it in a range. We are putting in a system that we don't really put a commercial value on. It has got an incredible amount of R&D and early manufacturing that's going to go into it. More important is the number of people we are putting in. The governor spoke about 50 people, but that's an initial commitment. We also plan to extend that with working cooperatively with faculty, by giving a lot of graduate fellowships, by working with student interns, and by also bringing in people from the local companies. All of that is the ecosystem, which is why the governor used that word multiple times. Normally we find that our investment often multiplies by 5 to 7 if you include all of the surrounding partners. So I'll leave you with a range that's not completely satisfactory, but at this point we view, because some of the dollars get associated with kind of our investment in R&D, so we view that as somewhat proprietary. So we leave it as a range.
Hundreds of millions, but in what period?
In the next 2 years. So as a governor, somebody asked about the south side. We intend to put a computer into Hyde Park in 2025. This is not, we're not leaving it as a vague time period, in 2025. As those computers extend over time, and as the south side facility gets ready, then it'll migrate into that. As the governor spoke, whether that's 2 years or 2.5 or 3, actually I don't think it's that important. The fact is we're going to get going in 25 in building out all of those things that we talked about. That's going to be right here.
Is there an outlook for what other growth might look like in terms of quantum or otherwise in Illinois?
Look, so let me roll forward to when quantum gets to an advantage and when it is solving problems that our clients, in the end, private industry and government really care about. At that point, the quantum industry will start getting measured in the hundreds of billions of dollars. You then have to say, if that's the value back to the economy as a whole, how much accrues back to the places where it happens? A normal rule of thumb in early technology is 20 to 30% accrues back to the source of the technology. So if this is the largest ecosystem, you would say 20 to 30% of those hundreds accrues back as a benefit to the places where it's coming from.
Sure. It's not about pensions?
It is.
Oh, it is, finally. Every time I meet up with Trudy, it's about pensions, yeah. That's okay.
So tomorrow there's a hearing in the House for HB 5909, and that's focused on tier 2 fixes. It's not solely about that, but that's one of the things. So can you comment on that legislation, and do you support it? Do you think it's going to be the fix that's needed to bring the system into, Social Security compliance?
Let me say this. I think you've heard me talk about the fact that we have to meet what's referred often to as a Social Security
Equivalence?
yeah, equivalence before, in order for it to sort of meet the standards for, for the state not having a larger liability. We are not no one is exactly sure what that amount is. The estimate, I've seen several estimates. Let's just call it $3 to $6 billion total over a 20 plus, year period. So that is something that has to be done. I know there are people who would like to add other things on to a bill like that, but and that's, I think some of those things are included in this bill that you're referring to. But I have several things on my mind when I think about this. I think most especially maintaining our fiscal responsibility in the state of Illinois. We already have a significant amount of pension liability and payments that we make, but we've been managing those properly. And you heard me say, I think yesterday here, that our pension funded ratio has been improving every year, or in total over the last 6 years since I took office. And I'm proud of that, and it's something that inures to the benefit of everyone in this room and everyone at home that is a resident of the state of Illinois. So that is something I don't want to let go. Yeah, I think that's why you have hearings. We want to hear what people have to say.